me love here. So he gets into the song, and during his stanza of the song, Mimi does have this look of confusion, like, you're turning me down? Like, really?
Yes.
Yeah, it really is that look of, really? Nobody turns me down?
You can't really blame her, though.
No, because she's very confused. And that's where we get into the song. And Roger, and I'm going to go through the song here because there's so much in this. And Roger's explanation for his way he thinks is actually in here, too. So,
who do you think you are? Barging in on me and my guitar. Little girl, hey, the door is that way. You better go, you know the fire's out anyway.
And this is where, in the lyrics, you don't need the explanation from Chris Columbus earlier.
Take your powder, take your candle, your sweet whisper, I just can't handle. Well, take your hair in the moonlight, your brown eyes, if I get night.
How pissed is Roger at this point already, though?
Yeah, he's pretty pissed.
And the acting on Adam's face, by the way, the actor, Adam Haskell, the look at his face like a pure anger and disgust at her at this point.
Well, you figure he's done this for a while, so
He's been through this. And then he gets into I Should Tell You, which is important for later. And little detail here that, again, I'm watching more detail-oriented here. He actually touches his shoulder, and that's when it was like, it turns on in his head like, oh shit, I'm still mad at you. Like, I'm still mad at you. And that's when we get into...
No, another time, another place, a temperature would climb. There'd be a long embrace. We'd do another dance. It'd be another play. Looking for romance. Come back another day. Another day.
And from his perspective, I get it. I completely understand it. But then we get to her. And that's where we get to the almost like one of the meanings and behind this whole show is this stanza in this song.
yes.
Heart may freeze, or it can burn. The pain will ease if I can learn. There is no future. There is no past. I live this moment as my last.
So at this moment, I wrote this in the notes here. At this moment, you can see Roger. He's sitting on the couch, looking at Mimi, and he's thinking about. He's actually in his mind. You can see his facial expression change again. Brilliant acting. This is facial acting by Adam Pascal, changing his from anger to, well, she has a point. She has a point. I see what she's saying. And then he puts his guitar down and just kind of looks at her like, okay, I'm listening. Keep going. Keep it going.
There's only us. There's only this. Forget, regret. Oh, life is yours to miss. No other road, no other way, no day but today.
And this is just me being being me and my ridiculous crush over there, Dawson. I put a note in here. I love the visual of Mimi / Rosario crawling to him to get to his level on every turn. It's very seductive, but trying to be innocent at the exact same time.
It is. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Roger's like, fuck it, I'm still mad at you. Just turns his face again. You have to seriously watch this sequence with Adam Pascal's acting in your acting right, because every facial expression is different. This entire song. He turns it back on and counters the points. Like I said, brilliant facial changes. And he has a valid point.
Excuse me if I'm off track, but if you're so wise, then tell me, why do you need smack?
Yep.
Take your needle, take your fancy prayer. Don't forget, get the moonlight out of your hair.
At this point, Mimi looks so insulted. Like, how dare you say this to me? And at this point, he literally grabs her by the arm and throws her out of the loft. Wow. forcefully throws her out. And I also wrote in here, I like the touch that he actually follows her out to make sure she leaves. You're not getting back in here under my watch.
Exactly.
Walks her down the stairs, watches her out the door. Irrespective of what Roger's thinking here.
You know, I think he's just fed up. And I also just don't think he wants to go back to that life.
I don't blame him. And it's one of those things that it takes a lot of actual courage on his end to not give in at this point. Because it's a beautiful woman pretty much saying, take me, but she has a fault that you don't, a flaw, and something you've dealt with in the past. And I give him credit for that. That's a lot more bravery than you think about it. It's pretty cool on his part.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, brilliant acting.
Yes, absolutely. She ends up walking outside. But by the way, I understand why she went outside for the sequence of this song, but why would she just go back to her own loft at that point?
Maybe she was too pissed.
So she goes outside. Her jacket's still in her loft because she actually climbed out, obviously, without her jacket on to go down to him, thinking, why am I going to need a jacket? I'm just going downstairs in the same building. So what's the point? And she's outside in the cold. And I always love the detail that they had the breathing in for the entire song outside. They breath in the air because it is December in New York.
Yes.
I always love the detail. There are movies that don't do that. And I love the fact that they take their time to put those in there. Because you know they filmed this in like the spring. Mm-hmm. So she goes outside and she starts doing the same mantra from earlier. But then at this point, Mark, Mimi, and Collins turn the corner and join the song. They're coming back from life support. At least that's how we're thinking. I'm thinking life support and then went to dinner. They probably went to dinner after life support.
Yeah, probably.
And because it's been a long time since that life support meeting. And I was thinking though, taking this out of a musical form for a second, if you're rounding the corner and your and someone you know is yelling up at your best friend, having a fight, like what the fuck are you thinking? Like what the hell is going on through your head? If you're rounding the corner, this is what's going on.
But then again, it's New York.
True. Anything happens in New York, really. As you learned recently. So.
Yes.
Anyway, so she's on the ground. They walk up to her. He's up on the balcony, back up there. And this is actually coming up here is one of my favorite scenes in this whole song. They hit a crane shot showing Roger all the way down to them. I love that crane shot because it shows everyone singing and everyone's trying so damn hard to make this work. It's a little detail like that I appreciate. So Mark, Mimi, and Collins are singing with Mimi on the ground. This is it's heart-wrenching when you watch it because it's a really cool moment because you have Roger up there saying, I'm not dealing with this shit pretty much in so many words, and they're on the bottom trying to get through to him. And I like the detail of this. And also, I actually wrote in here, during all the stuff that they're doing on the ground, I love the fact that during the No Day But Today monologue, they're going back and forth. They're pretty much saying No Day But over and over again at the end.
No day but today. Take your powder, take your candle. No day but today.
And I love the detail of Mimi being comforted by Angel.
Yes.
Because that comes in handy later. Because they don't do that in the Broadway show. They don't set that up in the Broadway show as much as they do in the movie. And I know I brought that up, I think, during Rent. That they're trying to emphasize their friendship more in this movie.
Yes.
Which I do appreciate. I wrote that in here. Something they never do in the Broadway show until we get to until we get to the funeral later on in the movie. They don't really mention they were close.
Yeah, which
is weird.
Yeah.
And that is actually where we end this day. With a very sad Mimi pretty much crying into Angel's arms at that point. And Roger being defiant and shut off to the world up on the balcony, pissed at the world. And that's where we end our day. Your thoughts on the second half of Christmas Day in the Rent universe?
Merry Christmas, bitches.
Seriously? So much fucking happens in this little sequence. I love the fact that this is kind of the turning point of the movie, too. And
yes.
And also, I liked in the format of the movie, it kind of fits. You need a night to sleep this off. You really do need a night in the real world. Like, this just happened. You can't move on to something else 10 minutes later. You can't.
Oh, totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back in our next episode in 2 weeks, where we're going into December 26th, part 1. Because this is going to be a two-parter on this day as well. But here, we're going to be getting into the song Will I? which is a good mantra song. I love that one.
Yes.
And then we have Santa Fe, which is Collins on the Train, which is one of my favorite sequences in the film.
Oh, yeah, you love that.
And then it's immediately followed by I'll Cover You, which is Collins and Angel's love song.
Yes.
So that's all going on in the next sequence, which in the context of the movie is only like 11 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have the time codes written out here. It's literally, this sequence we just went through is like 9 minutes, but it's 2 songs and there's a lot going on. These songs is only from 50:27 to 1 hour, 1 minute 21.
Oh, wow.
That's it. So we're not doing a whole lot of the movie, but it's a lot of songs crammed into that short amount of time. So, honey, why don't you plug your blog and everything else you got going on in your world?
Just check out MKE Mom's blog. That's pretty much all I got right now.
Yes, and also we brought back Pucks and Polish, which came up last week. I know it was a week after the Mayhem Classic starts, but you can still go check out and hear our picks and see how we're doing in the first round.
Indeed.
Yes, and we'll be back next month on that show for Evolution. We'll be back in 2 weeks here on No Days But Today. We are part of the Feeling Right Podcast Network. You can find us everywhere you can find podcasts. I know our biggest downloads, by the way, come from Spotify now. So that's pretty cool. People are finding us on Spotify. Cool. And that's that. We are the only podcast currently doing the movie Rent. So we'll do our best to make everybody happy here in this universe leading up to Rent Live in January, which I can't believe is coming up in January already.
Wow.
That being said, thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you again, honey, for joining me today.
No problem.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening. Have a good day, everybody.
No day but today.